So Koos, I want to open this up to you quickly. If you wouldn't mind, please just explain just a few of these terms so that the audience can understand what we're about to talk about.
Okay, so I brought myself some cards because as an academic I tend to ramble. So I'm keeping it to what I need to say. Everything here is based on existing research, but it's also based on what you know. So you know that games are powerful. You know games can teach people, games can change your behavior. And all these things require us to borrow from games. But to effectively borrow from games, you need to understand games. You need to understand how they work, how people play them. The purpose, as Ryan said, for me, is to give you a vocabulary so that we can effectively talk about education games. So the first thing I want to talk about is game-based learning. Now, we've heard about that. Hopefully you've heard about it. Game-based learning is pretty much just using games to teach or learning by playing games. The games are still fully fledged games. They're not edutainment or education products. They are games, but you learn by playing them. Game-based learning uses the strengths of games to teach you certain skills and certain behavior. So the next one, serious games. Now we've heard the term serious games quite often, and I've heard it in the industry quite a lot as well, and people tend to completely not understand what it is about. So serious games are games that are used for a serious purpose. It's right there in the name. A serious game aims to achieve more than just entertain. It also aims to achieve certain serious outcomes. So serious games tries to teach you, expose you, or enlighten you about certain things.
Can you give a quick example of that?
A nice example of serious games. Serious games are fairly broad, so different types of games from digital to board games can all fit into serious games. But a nice example that I like to use is a game called Papa Neo, which is an indie game of this little guy that has to escort this monster through this world. And this monster is on his side, but then at a certain point the monster becomes enraged and then starts hurting the little guy. And then you have to placate the monster by giving it food or giving it something to drink. And the whole concept of the game, which the developer revealed, is his experience as a child living with an alcoholic father. So it just exposes you to that whole context experience. So it's not, I have learned the following things, it's just now you understand this abstract concept. So that's an example of the serious games.
Now, in terms of using